Here's something from a book that I read that really shook me. In the book Radical, the author David Platt talks about what life in Christ is really supposed to look like and how radically different it is from the lives most of us live. Now, I'm a slow reader and I haven't even finished half the book yet, but here's something powerful he said that made me question the way I live. He writes, God puts his people in positions where they are desperate for his power, and then he shows his provision in ways that display his greatness. Let me say that again. God puts his people in positions where they are desperate for his power, and then he shows his provision in ways that display his greatness. What that means is that God constantly leads us into places that are totally out of our comfort zones, where we truly can't do anything, and it is in those places that he comes in power and displays his might. Which means that if you aren't really seeing his power at display, chances are that you are living a life that doesn't really require to see his magnificent power at display. We seriously need to be doing more things that require faith. We need to be stepping out into places in faith, knowing that only by God's intervention something can happen. I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe it could be just reaching out to an old friend or colleague and offering to pray for them. Ask God yourself. Ask him to stretch your faith. Because if we aren't living lives where we find ourselves in these situations where if God doesn't show up, we'd be in serious trouble, then we've got to consider the possibility that we are seriously under-challenged and that our faith isn't being exercised. Take a step of faith today and ask God to stretch it, and then ask him to display his power.